All right, welcome to your Wednesday morning. This is round number 2, show number 2 of this MX Sports Center from the AMA Aeronautiques Amateur National Motocross Championships, presented by AMSOIL at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. Jason Wygant here, Kevin Kelly there. We'll probably switch seats a couple times throughout the night just to see if you're paying attention. The idea today is to talk about racing. Yesterday we covered a lot of the outside activities. Monster trucks were here. They crushed golf carts and rental cars and all that stuff, but today we raced.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of good racing. We got to see the Villapoto Jason Lawrence matchup along with some of the younger riders out there. So everyone from the 50s all the way up to the big bikes, old guys, young guys, it all went down here at day number 1 at the 24th annual AMA Loretta Lynn's Amateur National Championships. I am Kevin Kelly, Jason Wygant here live from the Aeronautiques Studios here at Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch.
I'm Jason Wygant, he's Kevin Kelly. We are coming to you live from these Aeronautiques Studios. This is the Racer X table.
Hey, what's
hanging
going on
out
behind us, man?
What's going on actually is something we're going to cover later in the show, even though it's happening now, if that makes any sense. It's the Jeremy McGrath Mini Bike Invitational. It's an invitational mini bike race. Jeremy McGrath sent a whole bunch of the industry big hitters.
Did you get an invite?
What's that?
Did you get an invite?
I did not get invited. Didn't even. I was expecting to maybe get an invite and then say if a date wanted to attend, but they didn't even give me the offer.
Black tie only?
It's black tie affair. The mini bike race is behind us. We'll talk about that. But basically the racing today, everything you wanted it to be. We had great weather. It was hot. It was humid. It was exactly what you expect at Loretta Lynn's, and everybody's getting behind it. You know, everybody was represented, all the different classes, all the different ramifications. Whether
Talk
it was
about Loretta
riders.
Lynn herself and how she did it in her first ever try at the women's class.
Yeah, Loretta Lynn showed up, qualified to the A Pro Sport, but really put her hopes in that women's class. And Jessica Patterson.
First 2 females to qualify for the Pro Sport class. So props to them, both of them alternates.
Loretta shows up on the horse, 1 horsepower. I mean,
Sure.
Jessica Patterson probably running 50 on that 450.
A solid 50 for sure.
Absolutely. Dunlop horseshoes hooking up.
For sure.
And Loretta Lynn, good start. Fortunately, faded back. Horse got a little tired, but it was great to see her compete in the women's class today for sure.
You got to think she has some kind of an advantage. This is her home track. It is in her backyard.
No one rides the track, and that includes Loretta.
Well, let's go to some race footage right now, and we'll be right back.
First moto of the week is 125 stock 1215. This is all 125 two-strokes.
Ryan Dungey was able to get out there and get out front on his Suzuki.
This is a stacked class. You got Dungey in there, Zach Osborne, Austin Stroop. Dungey getting out front early. It's muddy. It's early in the day. A little bit of dew left over, some rain we had on Monday. Dungey, though, able to fight through and now under attack from Osborne in the 39 and Stroop. These are 3 heavy hitters, and this is how we start the week off, Kevin.
Yeah, they matched up every class, stock and modified here in the 125 class. So we're going to have 6 more motos to go with these kids, or actually more than that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to have all these guys facing off just to start it off and give everybody a taste of what it's like here at Loretta's. Look at them coming through this section, how rutted out it is, and the motos have just begun. But here's Dungey, whoa, coming up short there, and he had this thing basically in his control to the very last lap.
You got it, but he couldn't shake number 39, Zach Osborne, who was able to capitalize, I believe, on an accident there by Ryan Dungey.
There's Osborne battling with Dungey. He gets side by side. He almost think he makes the pass. Dungey holds him off. Dungey headed for victory in the first moto of the week, and then he goes down. Trey Kennard, one of the contenders, did not put in the performance he wanted. Same thing with Matt Lemoyne. And Dungey throws it away in the last lap. Osborne takes the win. Dungey second. Austin Stroop third. That's class 85 711 mod. Deep start. It's hard to get a drive on these little bikes. Oh, and a couple of riders go down there. That's another big problem out here at Loretta Lynn's. They're coming to that first turn hard, and everybody's going for it. And here's why. The start matters. On the 8, getting out front.
Out of Milner, Georgia, that is Grant Ransdell, leading early on in the early moments of the moto. Who's at in the number 2 spot there, Jason?
Well, what happens is Jason Anderson out of Southwest came out here expected to win both titles in his class. He really put himself on the map here last year. But the start really holds it back. Anderson has to hang it out over the edge to try to come back, and that will eventually cost him. Now, the rider he's battling with the 16 is Walker Brightwell. They both didn't get the start, and they didn't have anything for Ransdell. They were closing in, but they weren't closing in quickly enough.
Track kind of holding itself together a little bit better for these guys. Right earlier in the motos, they're a little bit tougher to get around.
So it appeared to be Ransdell's day, but he ends up sliding out in a rut, throws it away, leaves it down to Brightwell and Anderson there in the 82, and then Anderson will run into some problems of his own. Anderson appeared to have a beat on our leader, and then disaster strikes in the Ten Commandments. Walker Brightwell takes the win by saying
I got like second in the whole shot. Then Ransdell went down and I got around him.
Walker Brightwell, waiting on that Grant.
Went to a rut and I lit it into another rut and I fell.
That pretty much sums it up there, doesn't it?
Moving on, 105 Super Mini. The Nico Izzy show right here. Look at him starting early, number 34 with the hole shot.
Yeah, he's just absolutely on fire. And that jump is huge. Huge on anybody.
You land right into a big sea of ruts. You come out, jump with ruts. It's just the whole track is lined with ruts. Makes this track so technical.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. You see with these close-up angles just how rutted it is. You can't even tell what it's like when you're out there in the grandstands. And this place was packed. It looked pro-national-like out here to watch this Nico Izzy show.
The last time we'll see him on an 80cc machine or a 105cc machine.
So 1 win in the books for Nico Izzy. To the Open 8 Pro Sport, obviously stacked with heavy hitters, but the heaviest of them all is J-Law, number 38, Jason Lawrence, and he was out front and gone. Lawrence eventually with an entirely new jumping section there later on. We'll see that later. But the battle was really on for second, third, fourth.
That was Sean Skinner and Daniel Sani on the Honda.
Lawrence airing it out, had no business even worrying about those guys behind him. He was on a complete cruise on his own. But look at this battle beginning to develop here. Skinner and Sani starting to close in. And Sani was able to put pressure on for sure.
Yes, Sani was within about 6 seconds of your leader there, Lawrence, but then Lawrence was able to step it up and pull away.
Sani ends up second. Lawrence takes his first win of the week. 125 mod. The same boys are back. You got Dungey, you got Osborne, Stroop, and a rematch in the mod class. All 125 two-strokes.
This time around, though, it was Zach Osborne out front, getting the lead early on in the moto, pulling Dungey along right with him.
Dungey was right there, and Stroop wouldn't leave either. It was unbelievable. These guys, they'd have good laps and bad laps, but just determination. No one would let another guy go. They would not give up.
The sweet sound of the two-stroke, man.
It was pretty awesome to hear all this, to hear 41 bikes come off the line, all two-strokes. But Dungey wasn't able to find the pace that he had when he was leading that first moto, and then eventually he lost a little bit of time on Osborne, and then Stroop put the pressure on.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow. Did you see Zach Osborne busting that left-hander?
Unbelievable, just dragging the end of the bar. Dungey staying right there, Stroop staying right there. It was like this the entire way. What an awesome fight it was right down to the end. But in the end, Zach Osborne had what it took, clearing that huge jump on his 125, and Osborne goes 2 for 2 on moto wins. The battle was really on for second, though. There's Dungey on the 12. Stroop doing everything in his power to try to reel him in, just wringing the life out of those 125 two-strokes.
Ripping that black, deep loam here at Loretta Lynn's. Notorious for those big, deep ruts. That's what it's all about. Stroop sampling some of the soil here.
Yeah, he did. He saw that loam up close, but he manages to hold on a second anyway. And Osborne takes another win. Big.
Very big. And that's
Are you
how it
serious?
all ended. And that was some great racing. You just saw some of the first rounds of motos today. And right behind us, the Loretta Lynn's 24 hours Le Mans. Is that what they call this thing?
Yeah.
They're going to go for 24 hours, and that's going on behind us. 24 hours on a pit bike.
Unbelievable. Well, they get good gas mileage.
I was about to say.
They don't have to run those big side tanks like they do in Dakar or Le Mans. But, yeah, we've actually been doing this show for about 3 hours now. The mini bike race continues.
Had a pit stop, got some drinks, Gatorade helping us out here. One of the sponsors here at Loretta Lynn's. Want to thank those guys out.
Absolutely. After every moto, the riders come in and get fresh Gatorade, not stale Gatorade, fresh Gatorade.
They actually squirt it. That's what you do. You actually squirt the Gatorade on them. It's kind of sticky, but I guess it feels good at the time.
Well, when you sweat it out, you actually absorb it back in through the pores. We just covered some motos. It was good highlights for sure. Lots of great racing. But it's not just about racing down here. We had really something special in intermission. Kevin Kelly and I went in there, did backflips on mini bikes.
Yeah, we were the highlight show. We backflipped into a foam pit. Then we never done it before. Then they moved the foam pit out of the way, and we just went big and backflipped the 10 Commandments. We've got some footage of that, I think, don't we?
Yeah, by backflipping the 10 Commandments, actually 20 commandments.
Right.
Because we saw them in both directions.
We got to be breaking some commandment by backflipping 10 Commandments.
What they actually had at intermission today was Jeremy McGrath and Vanilla Ice riding the track together. Now, these are both alumnus of this MX Sports program, the AMA Sports here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, but they both rode it together. It was pretty cool, Ice and McGrath.
Yeah, that's right. Rob Van Winkle, that's his real name, his God-given name.
His name is not Jeremy McGrath?
No, it's not Jeremy McGrath, but it's not Vanilla Ice. But he did perform last night, and he performed again for the crowds.
Vanilla Ice's name is Rob Van Winkle.
And they watched those guys ride. Hey.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right.
Awesome.
We're doing a professional show here. Jeff Cernick heckling the crowd for us. But, yeah, Vanilla Ice, Rob Van Winkle, cutting some laps with Jeremy McGrath. How cool is that? Thor brought these guys out here, put on a show for him. Jeremy hadn't been back since when, 1990?
He won a title here in 1987. Yeah, I think a couple years after that he came with Honda. But he won a title in the novice class in 87. Vanilla Ice raced here a couple times. His last time here was 85. So 20 years, and they both busted out some laps in their Hondas. It was awesome.
Yeah, it sure was. Vanilla Ice riding a Honda Z50, a little bit big for the bike, still was able to skim those 10 Commandments, and that was tough. He's a tall guy.
It was tough. Well, don't take it from us. go check out the highlights. Here's Jeremy McGrath of Vanilla Ice taking to the track this afternoon.
And we'll be right back to us. Take it away, Jason Wygant, but come back to me.
Yeah, take it away, us, and we'll be back to us when we're done.
Back to us. Back to you.
Yo, VIP.
Jeremy, when was the last time you rode here?
I think 1990s.
15 years ago?
15 years. Alright, stop. Collaborate and listen. I sit back when vengeance open.
Same as I remembered it. Yeah. Just kind of, you know, after riding the Pro Nationals for such a long time, it's a small track. So, yeah, it's cool though. I had a blast riding it. It's fun.
All right, thanks for throwing it back to us.
Back to me.
Us.
Hey, how you doing? Jason Wygant, Kevin Kelly. I am Kevin Kelly. That is Jason Wygant standing in for Dave Stanfield tonight.
That's right, and he is sitting in for Larry Huffman. This is MX Sports Center coming to you live, except that it's actually 12 hours after we film this.
It's live if you're watching. It's the first time you've seen it.
It's live for the two people sitting there
We're
watching
live
us
right now
now
in the Aeronautics Pavilion.
Yes, Aeronautics and Racetrack setting us up for us. So this is the 24th annual AMA Amateur National Championships, Aeronautics, presented by AMSOIL. We're glad to be here, and we just watched some highlights of Vanilla Ice and Jeremy McGrath riding the track together. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Exactly. Now, back to the real racing. Once we were done with the intermission, more motos out there, and we finally got that big showdown we wanted to see, 125A Pro Sport. That's what everybody wanted to see.
That's
Lawrence
right. You got
Villapoto.
to see Lawrence Villapoto. You also saw Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin right there in the center of the track, a cage match, if you will. But the real action was on the track, you're right. Jason Lawrence, Ryan Villapoto. Let's go to some of those highlights.
Yeah, let's go to some more highlights, and we're going to throw it to us.
I'm going to be fixing my hair. I'll be right back. Jason Wygant's sideburns will return. Back to you.
12-13 mod. This is a big class tradition at Loretta Lynn's. You're trying to set yourself up for moving to the 125 class. And the big riders to watch here, Justin Barcia on the 51. Out front, Sean Reif on the Sternix Honda is number 70. And 43 out of the pack is Eli Tomac.
Yeah, Eli had a bad start, had to come from about 5th. Took him several laps to get up in there into the hunt.
He had to make up for the bad start. And what happens is you make your gate picks here random. So in the first motos, even the top riders get bad gate picks. And that's what Tomac had to fight. Tomac ends up second. Reif holds on to win it. 125 Pro Sport. This was the showdown, Kevin.
That's right. Ryan Villapoto, Jason Lawrence. They meet finally on the track. Who gets the whole shot?
But what happened was this time, the bad gate pick went to Villapoto, and he started this moto in about 31st place. And look at him fighting his way through. It was unbelievable. Oh, the traffic he had to deal with.
Definitely a traffic jam. Stuck the bike right in between them. Was able to stay up, and that was critical.
Kawasaki had the deck loaded, but the Suzuki boys got out front. It was Lawrence and Martin Davalos, but here's all the Kawasaki's. You got Matt Bonney in there, Kyle Chisholm, and also Villapoto coming on a rail from the back of the pack. Passed about 30 guys in this one and laid down some wicked lap times. Kyle Chisholm trying to make his move. That was actually the veteran Jim Neese in the pack. There's Bonney. But eventually Villapoto would get around all of these guys. It was unbelievable the ride Villapoto put on. But unfortunately, Jason Lawrence, we don't even have him in these shots because he was so far gone.
Yeah, we'll see these two match up a couple more times. Maybe they'll get off the gate 1-2.
Kawasaki battle continues. Villapoto catches up to Chisholm and Bonney.
Watch Villapoto set him up for the pass right here.
He passes both the Kawasaki guys. He goes from 30th to 2nd, but Lawrence was long gone. Welcome back. It's MX Sports Center from the AMA Aeronautics Amateur National Championships at Loretta Lynn's, presented by AMSOIL. He is Rip Van Winkle and Thomas Edison here, giving you all the highlights. And, you know, this is the key. You got to be consistent down here. This is just one set of motos we've watched so far.
Right. We're not even through a full set of motos. And got about 5 or 6 motos before we, actually about 15 motos before we complete the first set of motos. We'll do it 2 more times. And then we'll go to 5. And the champion will be crowned $200,000 purse.
Really? Well, yeah.
No, I just made that part up.
No, not here. I mean, at the U.S. Open, there's a lot of money on the line.
Sure,
It's true.
Sure.
So
we're
anyway,
talking about Loretta's. We're talking about amateurs.
That's right. We're back to Loretta's. Now, what you see behind us is the Jeremy McGrath Invitational Pit Bike Race. Thorne Parts Unlimited coming on big with the race this year. They bring Jeremy out, and he rode the big bike with Vanilla, and now he's riding the small bikes.
That's correct. I'm going to back you up on that 100%, Jason.
Appreciate that. That is chemistry.
Sure.
Chemistry right there.
You're Albert Einstein, so you've got all that dialed in.
Thanks, Rip. Not to be confused with Robbie Van Winkle.
Sure.
Let's go to some highlights of the Jeremy McGrath Mini Bike Invitational. Rocket Rod Bitus, the folks from Thor and Parts Unlimited making this all happen. So we thank them. And
let's go ahead and send it back to the studios.
Which would be us.
We'll be right back. Highlights behind us. Watch it.
We'll be back with more of this as we close in on the finish line here of day 2. But day 3, ironically enough, is coming up the very next day.
That's how it usually, in sequential order there. Day number 2 just finished up, day number 3, and we'll be right back.
Well, Jason Wygant here, Kevin Kelly there. We're signing off, and thanks for watching MX Sports Center, coming to you from the 24th Annual AMA Aeronautiques Amateur National Motocross Championships at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, presented by AMSOIL. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Seriously, we appreciate it.